Our next guest has a series of books all about the stuff no one ever tells you. Now, she uses a different word than stuff, but we can't say that on TV. Now, these books are just as hilarious as they are true, and Dawn Deas is taking on pregnancy, and she joins me now to talk about this latest book. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
It's great to have you on. So, of course, you're known for your raw honesty and your humor and your sarcasm. What do you think inspired this approach?
I think my children inspired that approach. You kind of, you have to have a sense of humor when you're dealing with parenting and babies and everything that comes along with that.
Right, right. And this book that you're putting out now is about pregnancy. What made you write about that? Is it sort of a hard topic to find humor in?
Well, I think anything having to do with parenting is kind of lend itself to humor. Maybe not when you're actually in it, but I try to kind of dive into stuff in my books that all parents are having to deal with and sort of give them a place to realize that they're not the only ones that are dealing with this.
Right. It's a good way to normalize it. Now, how would you say that the tips in your book differ from, say, more conventional pregnancy books?
Well, I teamed up with Store Brand Formula, and we decided to try to get the word out about how to maximize your pregnancy months. Because a lot of books are, about the physical aspects of pregnancy, and that's great. But I think that pregnancy, or those months, are the time to really get ready for hurricane baby. And one of the things you can do is, have conversations before this baby gets here about how you're going to deal with that baby. Just, belly flopping into your life.
Right. Hurricane baby, I like that. So specifically, what do you think parents should be talking about, communicating about, really getting set in stone before that baby arrives?
There are a lot of different things, but I think probably the most important thing is feeding, because it's not something people talk a lot about before the baby gets here. They think they're going to breastfeed, and they kind of put it to the side, and then it turns out breastfeeding is really, really hard. So Store Brand Formula did a survey, and they found that formula is the last thing moms research before they have a baby, and it's the first thing they research after they have a baby, which makes sense because they think they're going to breastfeed. Breastfeed turns out to be really hard, and then they have to kind of scramble for answers. And so these are the kind of things you should think about before the baby gets here. Get a feeding plan in place, get to know all your different options.
Right, they scramble for answers, and then also the emotional toll that it might take on them afterwards.
Yeah.
You talk about something called breastfeeding guilt. What is that?
Well, exactly. It sounds like you basically feel guilty because you're having trouble breastfeeding. You're told that it's the most natural thing on the planet, and then it turns out that it's really hard. And you're on day 2, and you feel like you're already failing at the most basic mom duty. And I think that moms need to realize that getting that baby fed is priority number 1. However you need to do that. Breastfeeding, formula, supplementing, whatever you need to do. And if you're going to use formula, it can be really expensive, and Store Brand Formula can cost up to 50% less, so that's really nice. And it's all the same stuff. It's called formula for a reason. Same
Right.
nutritional standards.
Right. It's very easy to understand. I mean, moms don't expect to feel all chewed up, so to speak, when that baby is born, and I'm sure that's what sort of makes it the hardest part. Now, if people want to learn a little bit more about your book or get it, where can they go?
They can go to any stores, and it's online, and they can also go to storebrandformula.com to get more information about formula and the survey.
Okay, we'll do that. Dawn Deas, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Of course. Let's stay right where you are, guys. We'll be right back.